Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Today's episode, we celebrate the 5th anniversary of Animal Crossing New Leaf. And today, as always, and from now on, I have Sergio with me.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys?
And we're essentially going to go over the Pocket Camp game a little bit more, how we feel about it now that it's been out at least a couple weeks. And we're going to talk about New Leaf, one of definitely my favorite Animal Crossing to come out, and just kind of go over some of the upcoming events coming to New Leaf. So, anyways, let's go ahead and start with Pocket Camp. So, what's your progress, Sergio?
Well, I am now at level 23 today, actually. My biggest accomplishment, as you know, was getting enough leaf tickets to get KK Slider permanently in my campsite. I still love that. And I also have the level 3 picnic set. It's the one that you get with the nature
Oh yeah, yeah.
choice.
So if you get the natural tent and you level that up to 3, right?
Yes.
And then you get the picnic set.
Right, and I'm not sure how much further, how many more levels there are gonna be, but that's really my main point. Just focusing on the picnic set, not really crafting that many items, but I'm focusing on finding new villagers too.
Yeah, so I think you just passed me up because I'm still level 22. But one thing I noticed, I think once I hit level maybe 18 or 19, but I definitely noticed at level 20, but the game just kind of slowed down a lot for me.
Right, right. And also the leveling bar, it goes so slowly now. Whenever you get a heart from the villagers, it just goes up just a little bit.
Yeah, before it felt like, oh man, I just
Right.
grew like half a level in one session. That's so awesome.
Right.
But now it's like you're taking days at a time to get up in the progress.
Right, and there's a lot more villagers that you have leveled up to 5 or 6 or more. Those take more requests to give you a heart and give you experience points, I guess. So you're trying to find new villagers that are level 0 or 1, and you want to focus on them when they show up.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause other villagers, like there's even now that I've hit this point, so just where I'm at, I have a cool tent. No, I don't have the cool tent. I have the sporty tent and the cute tent.
Right.
And I've leveled those up. Um, well, the sporty one I got to level 3 so I could get the half pipe because that
Right.
was my main goal. I really wanted to have skateboarding villagers in my town, and now I do, and it's the cutest thing
It
ever.
looks amazing, right?
Yeah, the snapshots I've taken of that, I just love it. And then, so the next focus I had was getting the cute tent up to level 3 so I could build the little tree swing set.
Right.
But this is where I've kind of noticed things have slowed down for me because the one thing with the tents is to upgrade them, you need a lot of cotton. And so after getting one tent all the way to level 3, that was pretty easy. But right after that, I just had no cotton left.
Mm.
And so I don't know. I feel like I kind of hit a wall. Like I was going super, super fast through leveling up and getting a lot of stuff in the game. And then all of a sudden it just like halted for me.
Right, right. I agree with you. I still play every day, but it's definitely been less, and you have sort of a less direct goal. You're just playing to see what happens or to build up leaf tickets and materials to see if something cool comes up that's limited time offer or something.
Yeah, cause I do want to start like I guess building a lot of different furniture and really focusing on getting a cool look for my campsite. But I don't know. I feel like that main objective you have is so easily stopped. Like, say you want to build a couch or something and you need all your cotton for it, and you're just like, man, I either get this couch or I can save it and upgrade my tent and get even better stuff, you know?
Right, right, right. And it might
So,
be we might be at a different sort of limit in terms of materials. You're struggling with cotton. I think I have enough, but I'm definitely having a hard time getting the natural essence. That's the one
Oh
you
yeah.
need to level up the picnic set. And every once in a while somebody offers it as a reward, but it's only one, and I need 20, and I think I only have about four right now.
Yeah, so I just feel like the game has a lot of needs for you to accomplish something, but it kind of gets lost in the shuffle, like in the distribution of it. So you can have a lot of one thing, but be completely lacking in others. Like the
Right,
essences are pretty huge to making those tents and building them up.
right.
So essentially, like where I am, I have just about enough cute essence to level up, but I'm really short on cotton.
Hmm.
And so there're just like a lot of things in the game that you need to level things up, but I don't know. I feel like it's putting kind of a barrier on the game, like making it go a little slower. And I mean in some ways that's nice, but in others you're just like, man, I really wish I could build something.
Right, right. You want to keep going, doing different things. Let me ask you, have you been to Shovel Strike Quarry again?
I think I've only ever gone there twice. And I don't know. I feel so. Me personally, I've kind of like stopped logging in a lot. I mostly log in and I check if Kix has or Able Sisters has
Hmm.
pants because I
Right.
really want my character to have pants. I don't like shorts.
I've seen a few, by the
um,
way. There should definitely be pants there.
yeah, every time I log in, they don't have them for me. They had a skirt once, but it's like shorts. I don't
Yeah.
want anything short. Um, so I have in one way, I haven't been playing as much as I did that first week, but I don't know if that's it's partly like I know it's kind of slow for me to get the things I need,
Right.
but also the other part, like I really want to get the official download version and link it to like my Nintendo account and kind of see what kind of rewards they have on there, you know?
Exactly. And I believe there's going to be Club Nintendo or My Nintendo rewards, just
Mm-hmm.
like they have for Super Mario Run and Fire Emblem. So that's definitely something to look forward to, and also to be able to have friends and actually, play with people in your country and communicate and say, oh, can you give me a hand? I want to go to Shovel Strike Quarry again.
Yeah, I think that'll get a lot easier. Like once it's available everywhere, it won't be such a pain. Plus, like I'm talking about being limited on supplies. I'm sure like some of those Nintendo rewards will be like here's 30 bundles of cotton,
Oh,
you know?
right. Yeah, definitely.
So that's this is like the one mobile Nintendo game where I'm like, yes, give me those things. I really need them. I
Right.
will use my what is it, platinum coins?
Right.
I will use those for that specifically.
Right. Do you also forget to use them just regularly? So I think with the official release, we probably won't be forgetting anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think cuz every month like so many of my points expire,
Right.
and like even this month I have some finally some gold coins that are expiring, but even looking at the prizes there I'm like,
Mm,
I don't know what I really want. So I'm kind
exactly.
of stretching it till the end of the month to make my decision.
Right. And I ask you about Shovel Strike Quarry because I wonder, do you only get ore and bells there? I wonder if maybe you can get some of the supplies that you might be lacking.
So what I always see like when you're looking when at the map and you click on Shovel Strike Quarry, there is a there's an icon. Sometimes it's for like an essence, sometimes it's for they have icons for different things.
Hmm.
And I'm assuming that's like a big reward if you hit the right rock.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so yeah, I think just as it's easier to get in there, we're not going to have as much trouble getting these materials. But also, I'm sure Nintendo will look into that problem and just kind of like fix how many materials we get for doing each chore, you know?
Right, right, and also the daily bonus or the daily login extra materials that you get, they could probably tweak that so it makes it a little more balanced.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be awesome. So I think there are definitely things that like the game needs to fix, and now it's becoming more and more clear to me that this Australian release was definitely a test.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I feel like there's so much they're going to add. Even like looking at the data mine that you posted on the Discord, I was like, wow, I want to make a garden. This sounds
Yes.
awesome.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited about what they're gonna add. So I think part of that is also like a reason that I'm not playing too much. Like I really want to, um, I guess, minimize my exposure to it, so it's still exciting when I finally download the official one.
Right, good point. And like you said, we've been burning out a little bit, but with the new features in the garden and who knows what else they're gonna add with future updates, they'll keep us coming back for sure.
Yeah, and I bet it'll get a lot. Like judging from the Fire Emblem Heroes, is it Heroes? It is, right?
Yes.
I have a hard time. I'm always afraid I'm mixing up
Right.
heroes with warriors.
Right.
But anyways, with the Fire Emblem Heroes app, like they get stuff pretty regularly, like super cool things. Like they're always adding new characters, new costumes for the characters, and yeah. So I'm sure we'll get a lot of new things because I mean it's Animal Crossing. It's like built on collectibles
Right. Right. Right.
and and villagers. Like I bet you
Oh,
will
yes.
regularly see like additional villagers added to the game.
Right, and hopefully at least a few, maybe brand new ones.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm geeking out over that because I'm already like super in love with the OK Motors
Yes.
characters.
Yes.
I'm like, yes, if they added new characters that look super cool like this, I'm so down.
Right, right. Speaking of OK Motors, I actually did upgrade the camper. Again, I guess it's considered level 3. So basically, it makes your second floor a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
I still haven't decorated any of it. But yes, I got the next loan and now it's 50,000 bells.
Yeah, I'm at the same spot. Like I kind of saw I visited somebody's thing and then I went into their camper and I was
Mm.
just like, "Oh my gosh, this looks adorable" because they actually decorated it. And now I'm super jealous. So I think next time I log in, I'm just going to go into my camper and decorate it.
Right, right. That's something for us to do. And like your quest for pants, I finished my quest for glasses. I found the brown ones. I don't remember if there were brown glasses in New Leaf. I am because I had
I
the
think
black
there
ones.
were.
Okay, so I found them and I love the look.
Are they kind of oval shaped, like
Yes,
sideways oval? Yeah,
right.
yeah. So, yeah, those are the brown glasses that are in New Leaf.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I know for sure I have the black ones in New Leaf.
Yeah. But yeah, the camper update. So you said, what's the price on the last one or the next
So
one?
now I owe 50,000 and I'm not sure if there's something else. We'll have to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I wonder, because it makes sense. Like the first upgrade, it makes your camper a little bigger. The next one, you get the second floor.
Right.
And then I guess the one after that is just like the second floor gets a little bigger.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I guess I don't imagine it getting bigger than that.
No, right. Maybe they could
Unless you,
surprise us and do something neat.
yeah, I mean, they could always be like, here's a trailer to add on to your
Oh,
camper.
right.
Yeah, so I don't know. The one thing I was kind of afraid if I upgraded my camper, if it would turn into that other style, but I guess the style that kind of has the upper floor looking thing.
Right.
Um, but that's a completely different style camper that you can remodel yours to.
Right, right.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I guess what other things have you noticed in the game or would you like added?
Well, we still see the villager animations or the special interactions that you do with them, like making pies or soup or even painting bugs. There's a lot of different ones, but I think personally I've reached the point where I've seen them all and I want them to add more with updates for sure.
Yeah, especially I think like I said, I mentioned the flower thing or making your garden. I think we'll get like a special animation with
Oh,
the
yes.
villagers hanging out with flowers and I don't know, something like
Right,
that.
right. Or if they add paintings or fossils or anything they could add, they could turn it into an interaction.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot of really great ideas that they can do for that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but it's always the best when you get that because it also means you're getting like bonus items.
Right. That's right.
Which eh, I love when I get a bonus for cotton. I'm just like, yes, give me as much cotton as
Right,
possible.
right, right. And
Yeah.
one thing I've noticed, of course, you're always looking, whenever you go to a region, you grab whatever items you find, you talk to the villagers and see what requests they want. But there's also pretty much always a player there, either a new one or one from your friends list. And I definitely recommend for anyone that is playing the game or for people they start playing the game once it officially releases, check the market boxes of those players because they may have items that you're looking for or that you haven't had good luck finding, and usually they have them at pretty decent prices.
Yeah, the market boxes are like definitely get in the habit of checking those because I I do it whenever I'm like, oh man, there's no way I could catch all of these things at once. Maybe somebody has it in a market box and I could just buy it from them.
Right, right. I definitely check and buy a lot of items, but I need to keep remembering to post my own items for sale.
Yeah, especially because you, as you level up, you get more slots added to your market box. So you can put more and more items, and it kind of allows you to like not waste a lot of the materials you've gotten.
Right.
Um, so sometimes I'll just go looking through people's market boxes just for apples because for some reason every single villager in my campsite wants apples all the time. And I'm like, you guys, I have one apple tree and it grows three apples in every 3 hours. I can't give you all of these apples.
Right, right. I
And
think
so,
my preference in my town is cherries. They often ask for cherries.
oh yeah, I always have tons of cherries. I'll put them up for sale for you.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah. But so what I noticed with mine too is I have two extra fruit trees and mine are oranges and pears.
Okay, mine are oranges and peaches.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was wondering if like those fruit trees would be different from what everybody had.
Right, right,
Yeah, because you have essentially there's the one place that has all five fruit trees,
right,
apples, oranges, pears, peaches, and cherries. And then you have the extra section that has two probably random fruit trees.
right,
So you can always be very rich in another fruit, so you can sell that in your market box.
right. And I'm just realizing there's no bananas, correct? And also, persimmons and the others.
Yeah, they don't have any of like the tropical fruit, and they don't have the bananas. All I've seen is coconuts.
Right.
Um,
Maybe future update.
yeah, yeah. All of this is definitely future stuff, and I think eventually we will see it. But at the same time, I know I have a very strong feeling that this game is coming out, and we're gonna get a new Animal Crossing announcement soon, like for the Switch.
It just makes a lot of sense. A lot.
Yeah, because all of these apps have always been like followed up with a new game in that series. So I think people are gonna get pumped on Animal Crossing and then be like, I have to play this on
Right,
the Switch. That looks awesome.
right. They might at least make the official announcement early next year and then show it off at E3 and then hopefully releasing around November.
I would love if it came out in the fall because like that's always my favorite time of year to play
Yes,
Animal Crossing.
right.
It's so much fun. Everything in there looks beautiful, like all the colors and everything. And yeah, it's honestly the perfect timeline. I agree with this 100%.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
one more question for you for Pocket Camp. Let's see if you agree. A few levels below where we are right now, I want to say around 17 or 18, it was really tough to manage your item supplies. You would always be full of everything and you would have to sell something. But I think as you level up, you also get additional slots for items or for to carry more items basically. And I think the game has gotten to the perfect point.
Yeah, I think so too. Like now that I've leveled up a lot more and I have more, I guess, inventory space,
Right,
I feel like it's more comfortable because I hit the max like surprisingly early.
right,
And surprisingly early in the sense of like you could already hold like 100 items or something like that.
right,
And I was like, well, dang, I'm already full. How did I do that? Because I
right,
mean, it's different from a regular Animal Crossing game where you have what 15, 16 slots.
right,
Um, so I was just surprised that I hit the max at some point, and then so from there, I essentially just put everything in the market boxes. I was like, well, I have a lot of these. I'll sell them and open
right,
up a ton of spaces, and it helps when you have or when you just log in and it's been another cycle and you can just unload a lot of items by doing chores to people.
right. That's right.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to always have that ready, like you want to max out on your items.
Right, right. So if anybody is playing and it's a little bit bothered or frustrated by the lack of inventory, but you're not up towards the 20 or so levels, keep at it. It gets a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, and then hopefully also by then Nintendo kind of balances out on what materials you need to make things because right now I'm having trouble.
Right, right,
Yeah. So, as we mentioned, we're hoping for a new Switch Animal Crossing, but something big just happened recently, and that is the 5th anniversary of Animal Crossing New Leaf's release in Japan. And it actually released, was it November 8th of 2012?
yes. Mhm.
Yeah, so November 8th, 2012, Japan got Animal Crossing, and the rest of the world just sat
Ah,
in agony
yes.
as they waited for the new game. So I guess what were your reactions to that? Like, just the game came out and you couldn't play it, but you knew somebody out there was.
Right, right. And we had no idea how long it was going to be, the wait. I had a feeling it was going to be considerable, and it pretty much was. It was about 6, 7 months.
Yeah, it was a long time. So it came out November. We didn't get it till June, June
Right.
9th.
That's right.
So between that, that's like 7 months of waiting. That's more than half a year.
Right. Way too much.
Yeah, and at the same time, like the the Animal Crossing news that we got was like very minimal from Nintendo. Like they didn't tell us much outside of yeah, the game's coming out now for
Right.
in Japan and then we're like, yeah, but like what about us?
Right, right. And they just show it at E3 after about 2 years of the very first preview of it at another E3. So it was out of nowhere, and then Japan gets it, and you guys have to wait. We don't know how long.
Yeah, I remember I was really salty at cuz it was revealed when 2010
Yes, I believe so.
and then they completely skipped 2011.
Right.
There was just nothing, and I was sitting there and I was like, you guys, you showed me this and I loved it and I want to see more. Like, where is it? And
Right.
then the next year comes by and they finally give us some news and then just said it was coming out in Japan.
Right, right. And it was the very um memorable trailer
Yeah.
for E3 2012.
Yeah, and you know what's funny though too? Like if you watch that 2010 trailer and then watch that 2012 trailer, you see like a bunch of little things change, like the design of the trees, the design of the flowers. Those are both like different
Right.
from each of them. So you see a little bit of like the development of the game and how things have changed and how some of the models have changed. So that's a cool part, but just waiting between those times, I hated it.
It was way too long. So when the
Yeah.
game was out in Japan, did you watch any of it? Do you
I
think it was a
actually
spoiler?
I actually did watch like a lot of it cuz I was so jealous. I was like, I just need to experience this game. I've waited so long and I couldn't wait any longer. So around that time, I was watching mostly two channels that played a lot. There was one called Lin and Co, and they were a couple that lived in Japan, and they both spoke English.
Oh,
So they actually played the game in English.
oh, okay. I don't think I watched that one then.
Yeah, so they both lived in Japan and they would translate pretty much everything. And so
Oh,
you kind of got an idea. But at the same time, I think they only did it like weekly. So they would play on their own, of course, because you can't skip a day in Animal
right.
Crossing. You got to play every day. And so they'd kind of like give you an update on things they did and show you all the different cool stuff. Um,
Okay.
and then the other channel I watched at the time was the Bit Block, who that guy, he actually lives in the States, but he has a Japanese 3DS, and so he was able to download it.
Right, right. He definitely did a lot of coverage and he still does for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, yeah, he does some pretty cool stuff. I like the make believe things that he's
Right,
been doing.
right,
Um, but yeah, so I actually did watch a lot, and my thinking behind it was kind of spoilery, but it was also it felt like news to me because typically Nintendo kind of like shows you quite a bit from games, you know, kind of the stuff you can do,
right,
and I felt like we weren't getting any of that. So for me, it was like, well, I feel like this is kind of the stuff Nintendo would tell me about if I played it, you know,
right,
or if they were to do like a direct for it.
right. And with Animal Crossing, a lot of it, you see it and it's cool, but you still want to do it. The doing it yourself is the exciting part. So in a way, yes, I agree. It is not as much of a spoiler as in other games.
Yeah, and that's essentially how I felt too. Like I'm going to play this game and I know that I can do things the way I want to do them. Like maybe I didn't like where they placed their house and I wanted to place my house somewhere else, you know?
Right, right,
So like it wasn't like it was going to affect how you played the game. It just kind of gave me ideas of like what I wanted to do in the game.
right, right. As for me, when I watched the 2012 trailer for Animal Crossing, there's a part where the villager is at the beach and you see them swimming onto the ocean, and you know that's part of one of the new features of the game. And I was thinking, oh man, it would be so cool if you could be barefoot throughout the whole town. I personally like to go barefoot. I think it's really cool that it's in the game. But at the time, we didn't know if that was going to be just at the beach or if you could be barefoot throughout the town. So that's the one thing that I wanted to see when the game came out in Japan. The very first day, actually, there was a live stream by somebody in Japanese, so I don't think it was the one that you were watching. And it just so happened that the character was running around without shoes throughout the town, and I'm like, oh, okay, I've seen what I wanted. I'm gonna watch a little bit more, but then I was out. I did consider it spoilery enough at the time that I wanted to just wait for it, so I did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I think I remember like just a bunch of comments with people and they were like, "Can you just take off your shoes and socks?" And then so a lot of people just did to show it off.
Right, right, right,
Yeah, cuz I mean, that's a big thing. Like as far as like updates that Animal Crossing New Leaf did, that's when they added the pants and different shoes. They always, I guess, they kind of had different shoes in City Folk with kicks who would
right,
like repaint your shoes. But now you actually had like different styles and stuff. And with that, you could also do socks,
right.
which I personally like always wear socks and closed toed shoes. I don't personally like sandals
Oh, okay.
or being barefoot. I've stubbed my toe one too many times, so I need the protection. But I thought it was super awesome. Pants were a huge thing for me because, as I said, I don't really like shorts.
Right,
It's funny because like I grew up in California and people expect you to be like that beach person and everything. And I'm like really into rainy, cloudy days
right, right.
and cold weather. So I wasn't the best Californian. um but yeah, like there're just so many cool things that the game did. I guess like what is something that New Leaf did that was really exciting for you, like as far as the series went?
Well, I really like in part of what we've been talking about, just all the freedom that it gives you in the many new features coming back to the series as well, because I hadn't played City Folk for a bunch of years. So I was looking forward to it and I was ready in myself. I actually, by the time when we got the release date for North America, I scheduled my 2 week work vacation for that. I was just waiting for the date, and as soon as we had it, I said, I want these 2 weeks off. I'm ready.
That's so awesome. Like you just took 2 weeks off to play Animal Crossing.
Right, right. I actually did go to Mexico to visit some relatives, but that was sort of an afterthought. Animal Crossing was the choice for the dates for sure.
Yeah, the main priority is always Animal Crossing. um, yeah, so okay, I have a specific story for when I got Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Mm,
So the night before, um, my brother he didn't pre-order it at GameStop or anything. He was like, "I'm gonna buy it digitally," and I was like, "Oh, well, that's pretty cool. I think it'd be cool to have, but I already have a pre-order, so and I paid it off, so I'm getting that one." And so the night it came out, he was already downloading it.
oh,
Because at the time the eShop it released the game at 12 midnight Eastern
right,
time, and so my brother, we're in California, he could download it at 9 p.m. our time. So
right.
it was the day before. And it's funny because, like, you look at the logs of on the 3DS and it's like, you started playing this game on June 8th. And I'm like, that's the
No.
day before it came out. Amazing.
Right.
So, anyways, like, he got the game, downloaded it, and I was like, can I just walk around as your character? And so like he just gave me his let me hold his 3DS and walked around and I walked around in the game because that's all I wanted to do. I was just like I just want to be there. This is what I've waited for months and
Right,
years. I waited years for this moment.
right.
um so then anyways the next day I go to my friend's place after church cuz Nintendo actually used to release their games on Sundays.
Right.
And so June 9th was a Sunday. But I go to my friend's place and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go pick up my pre order. You want to come? Because one of my other friends also pre ordered the game.
Hmm.
And then another one of our friends tagged along, his roommate. They were both in an apartment near the college we went to. So there were four of us in the car. I was driving, and we go and my friend Edwin and we both get our copies that we'd pre-ordered, and then my other friend's like, "Well, I'll get it," and he'd never played like an Animal Crossing game before, and so it's pretty cool that like this game was his first experience of it. But
Right.
anyways, so he decides to play it, and we drive back, and then we're at the last turn to get to the apartment and just start playing. All of a sudden, I get rear-ended,
No.
and I'm just like, "What just happened?" And so we pull to the side, and we're just like, the person just I don't know. They said a water bottle went under their brake pedal, and they
Hmm.
couldn't stop. And they had their whole family in the car. Everybody was okay, luckily. One of my friends was like, "Did you hit me in the back of the head?" And my other friend was like, "No, dude, we got rear-ended." So it took like I don't remember, like another hour before we could get back and start playing the game.
Right.
And I was just mad. I was like, I, I, I almost don't care about my car. I just wanted to get home and play Animal Crossing. Like that's all I wanted to do today, and you rear end me.
Right, right.
um, so yeah, we eventually all that settled. We get back and we start playing Animal Crossing, and then the day like kind of starts shifting into night, and then we realize we're really hungry
Oh.
because we're just playing the whole time, and
Wow.
we probably got the game like I don't know 11 in the morning or
Right.
something, and then it's
Oh.
nighttime now and we hadn't eaten anything, and we called it the Animal Crossing diet, where you're just like, oh, I don't need food, I just need Animal Crossing, that's all I need.
Oh.
Yeah. So what was your day one of getting the game like?
That was an awesome story. Mine was kind of similar in a way. To your friend, I had a code from Best Buy, some credit that I was gonna use to get the game digitally, and I was expecting to get it, around 9 a.m. This is California here, so it would have been close to midnight Eastern. I figure maybe 10, 15 minutes while Best Buy gets their system going and you get the email with your code for the game, right? So the time kept going and it was 9:30, 9:45, and I had something to do the day after that was going to be pretty much an all day thing. So I said, you know what? No, this is not going to work. It's not going to be here until probably midnight. I'm just going to go to bed now. I'm going to wake up very early. I actually woke up at 3 a.m. and downloaded the game and I started playing. Ironically, I got the code at 10. So if I would have just waited 15 more minutes, I could have played the night before.
Oh dang.
Right, but I woke up at 3 and I played a good bunch of hours.
That's awesome.
Right.
Um so at the same time that it came out, did the kind of Pop Tart 3DS XL come out?
Right, it was the same day, and I honestly do not have any idea why I didn't buy it. I really wish I had. But anyway, I had the Pikachu 3DS XL, which was about 3 months old at that time. So I played Animal Crossing on that one, and after over 800 hours of play, that 3DS is it's out of commission for sure. The circle pad is super loose. You know how when you charge your 3DS, it turns orange to let you know that it's charging. Mine doesn't show up anymore, so it's just I hope you're charging because you're not telling me.
Yeah, I think that happened to one of my DS. Maybe it was my DS that I had for a very long time.
Oh,
Um, I had just the black 3DS, kind of like that base version that came out.
right.
Um, and my circle pad, it didn't break, but like the little thing came off of it
Oh,
from
right.
playing Smash Bros.
Right. Oh, yes.
So luckily it was just that. I glued it on and it was fine.
Right, right. Thinking
Um,
about it, I think I decided not to get it because you couldn't get it at a midnight launch because it was a system. At least I don't think either even GameStop offered that. So that's probably why I wanted to go digital to play the first minute.
yeah. Oh well, man, that's a bummer. Cause I kind of wish I got like the Animal Crossing themed stuff. Like in hindsight, I'd like want Animal Crossing themed everything.
Right,
Um, so like whenever I'm on store.nintendo.com, I always look at the 3DS units that they have, and they still have on that store like the Animal Crossing new 3DS, the small version with the changing plates.
right.
And they have like I think they have the KK slider plates
Yes,
available there too, and I'm like, I want that.
yes.
Those are so cool. And I mean, at this point, like I like my new 3DS XL. I really appreciate like the bigger screen for the
Right,
game and everything. So I don't think I want to trade that for just an Animal Crossing themed thing when I can already enjoy Animal Crossing on a bigger screen.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Um, But yeah, I have so many great memories of playing that game.
Right.
It's hard to even like think of. I don't know. I so what I like in general is the big thing they added was the public works projects.
Right.
And I remember just planning out my town like I'd never planned it out before. Like before in Animal Crossing, I just kind of enjoyed living in the world that they gave me, you know?
Right.
But this Animal Crossing really just pushed toward customizing that world, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Like it felt like you had more control over what it looked like. And then instantly I just cared more about like, oh, well, I need this path here because all my lamps are lined up and stuff.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, it felt like a lot more like city planning, which is really cool.
Right. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first Animal Crossing that showed you the layout of your town before you commit to it, and you have the chance to say, no, that doesn't look like the town I'm going to.
Yeah, this is the first one.
Right? Did you pick anything specific on purpose?
Um, I guess I don't remember what the reason. Okay, actually, no, I do remember I reset my town a lot at first because I wanted to start with cherries. And so
Oh,
I'd pick like a layout that I liked, and then if it didn't have cherries, I would just restart the game. And so I kept doing it. But now, in hindsight, I really wish that I got a town with the beach on the left side.
hmm,
And it's mostly because the museum is on the right side if you get a beach on the left side.
right.
And I like the look of the museum on the right side better than on the left.
Okay,
Like
gotcha.
it's next to kicks and stuff. It's
Right.
really the dumbest thing, but I care about it so much. That's probably outside of like where I put my house. That one decision of having the beach on the left
Hmm.
is or of not having the beach on the left is my biggest regret in the town I started.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so like the other thing, the house placement, the only reason I regret my house placement is because on the southern half of the map, the cedar trees don't grow,
Right.
and I really wanted my house to be surrounded by cedar trees. So, yeah, that bugs me. Cuz it's too far south. I can't do it.
Gotcha. I don't recall why really I wanted a certain layout for sure. And luckily enough, it was the very first one that I got, so I was set. But the placement of my house, I did it on purpose. I placed it by the beach because I wanted, when you're selling a lot of items, you're gonna be going back and forth from the train station where your supplies cabinet is or your locker.
Mhm.
So I wanted to walk from my house to the train station, which is basically traveling the whole length of the town. I just wanted to play a lot of Animal Crossing, so I figured the longer distance, I don't care, that's fine.
Yeah, that's actually I feel like a lot of people do the opposite thing
Right,
because they want to like save time. They like want all their stuff clumped together
right,
so they can just like sell it and be done, you know?
right, just
And
quickly.
yeah, so mine's kind of the same. Like I'm on the southern like I'm really close to the beach
Hmm.
in mine. And yeah, so I have to walk through like the entire town to get to the shops and things like that.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess I never thought about it that way. Like,
Right.
oh, I get to play more Animal Crossing if I just put things far away from each other.
Right,
It puts more travel into the game.
right.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I
Yeah.
like that.
And it just so happened that a lot of my initial villager houses, they were, my house was on the southeast corner, and they were just going on the south towards the southwest. So it was pretty much every house at first was on by the shore, by the beach, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, they wanted to live next to their mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you get any guides or anything?
Yes, I actually did buy the physical game also on day one, so I had, my two copies for, to sell turnips or anything you might need, and I did pick up that Prima guide.
Yeah, that that's one thing I always wished that I got, the Prima guide. Um, I now have like the digital version of
Right,
it.
right.
I still wish so kind of a little later I looked for the guide or guides that I could use, but at that point they got like really expensive because they weren't making them anymore. And so I was like, well, I'm never buying this. It's too much money. Because
Right.
it was kind of insane. It was like $100 or something
Oh,
when I
wow.
looked. And I was like, dude, this thing was like 20 when it
Yeah.
came out.
Right.
So at this point, I actually used some gold coins on the My Nintendo rewards to get the digital Prima guide.
Right, that's right. I saw that.
Yeah, so as soon as I saw that was available, I was like, well, well, I have to do that. That's got to be what I get.
Right.
So I have that one, and then recently I actually grabbed an updated Animal Crossing guide that only has the Welcome Amiibo stuff.
Oh,
So I got it on eBay, and it shipped from Japan because it's in Japanese the whole thing.
right.
But the cool thing that it had was you could see all the Welcome Amiibo cards in there. It kind of gives you a
Hmm.
checklist of them. But on top of that, like you can see the characters' houses, like what their house looks like if you
Right.
were to scan that amiibo card in. Which usually you only see like their RV and stuff. Like the artwork on the card shows a
Yes,
bit of their RV.
that's right.
Um, yeah, so I like that aspect because lately I've been choosing people to move in based on their exterior
Hmm.
of their house. Like I care less and less about having like a favorite villager. I kind of just like having a lot of different villagers.
Your favorite house.
Yeah, so now it's like this house goes with like what my town theme is going for, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah, so yeah, I think man, the game's just like lasted for so long. It's hard to believe that it's been 5 years.
Right, right. Now,
And so
back to those amiibo. Is it 50 of them or was it 100?
with the welcome amiibo cards, there were 50.
50. Okay, and you have all of those as well?
Yeah, I have every amiibo
Oh,
card
awesome.
except so I have all the Animal Crossing amiibo except for the two cards that were only released in Japan. There was a CP Isabel and a CP KK
Right,
card.
right.
And then the Sanrio slash Animal Crossing set had six cards, and those only came out in Japan, Europe, and Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they never even came out over here.
No,
Otherwise, I would
right,
have them.
right.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm still, I don't know. I've looked at the prices for all of those cards, and I'm just like, that's the price of like buying an entire set, like 100
Oh,
card set.
right, right.
So, yeah, so I'm not getting them
No.
anytime soon, but I could dream.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, which totally reminds me, another really cool thing that New Leaf did was the Dream
Oh,
Suite.
yes. Hmm.
And I guess, did you use it a lot? Did you upload your town?
I uploaded my town. I didn't use it a lot at first. It was more, after playing for about a year, maybe 2 years, that when I started using it more.
Yeah, I would use it like every day because it gave me 1,000 coins, or 1,000 bells. I mean,
Oh,
I've been playing too much Mario, so I'm thinking of coins. um, but yeah, so every time you would upload your town, she would give you 1,000 bells. And then
right.
so I was like, oh, cool, I get some free money. And I mean, I still didn't really need it, but it was nice.
Right, right.
Yeah, but I really liked, I guess, visiting different towns. I would always pick random. Like, I didn't really choose to go and see anything. I would just want to see a random town.
Right. I recall. d during my first times using it, I picked random, a couple of days in a row, and I would get a town that I've been to before. So I thought, maybe I should wait, and more towns are gonna be uploaded. Did that happen to you at all?
I don't think I ever once went to a town that I'd already visited.
Right, right. It was very unusual.
Yeah, that seems really weird because I've like you could look through a list of towns and there were just so many. It seems crazy that you got
Right,
duplicates. Yeah, but at the same time, like early on, the Dream Suite was not that cool.
right.
Um, unless you went to like specifically the Japanese towns that have had the game for
Oh,
7 months.
definitely.
Um, like those people had theirs all upgraded and stuff. But if you
Right.
just went to like a North American town, usually it was just as sad as yours was. Which I
Right.
mean isn't bad because one of my favorite things of Animal Crossing is like you start with nothing at the very beginning of the game and then you look back at your town a year later and you're just
Oh,
like,
yes. Right.
man, I've done it. I've really made this awesome.
Right, right. And I
Yeah.
also really like how they allowed you to take screenshots or basically in a way photographs of your town. I know for sure my first one was when you planted the plaza tree. That was the start of my little photo album for sure.
Yeah, that was mine too. And then I was really glad that I took a snapshot of that because later, well, not too much later, the next day I was like, you know what? I want to take a picture with my tree every single day for a year.
Hmm.
And I kind of wish I went for 500 days because that's when you finally get like the biggest size tree.
Right.
But I was like, a year is good enough for me. So I
Yeah.
played every day for a year. I mean, it was easy. I kept playing
All right.
beyond
No
that,
problem. Right.
but I just took a snapshot every single day, and you would kind of see like things around my square change or my clothing change, and all the seasons change. And
Yes.
I'll probably uh link the video somewhere so people can see like that whole progression and you see
Right.
it like lose its leaves and stuff and then grow them back.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So yeah, that was something that I loved doing. Every day I would just walk over to my tree and be like, here's a picture. And then at some point your tree gets big enough and you can sit next to it.
Right.
And that's when things got cool. I was like, oh man, I can just sit next to it and it has this like scenery and it's cool.
Right.
Yeah. So is there any other are there any other things that like really stood out to you in the game?
Yeah, and from day one, there's so much. All the Animal Crossing games have few songs or music that you only hear as part of sort of the tutorial of the game when you're first starting and running your chores for Tom Nook, etc. The ones in New Leaf really stick out to me. You also hear them, if you're resetting your town to choose the position of somebody that's moving in, that trick that you can do.
Yeah.
Right, so you only hear those songs at that specific point, beginning of the game, and I really like them. And like we said, planting the plaza tree. And then actually the first day of release, that Sunday, June 9th, I completely had a noob moment. I forgot to save, and I wanted to see how many hours I have been playing that day. So I just, home menu, X button, close the game. I forgot to save. So the very first day I
Oh.
ran into Mr. Rossetti, and he gave me a scolding.
Oh, that's tough.
So for sure, I bet you it never happened again other than for a dead battery.
Yeah. You know what's funny though too? I think you only really see Mr. Rossetti on that first reset.
Right.
And then after that, like it's optional if you like you'll only see him if you decide to build the reset center.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so I think I tried it just to see him
Hmm.
once, and then I was like, "Well, that was cool."
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I'm not a resetter in Animal Crossing because you can't reset life.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so as far as like upcoming New Leaf events, We've got a fishing tourney on the 18th, which is Saturday, and then we have the Harvest Festival on Thanksgiving, which is the 23rd of November.
Right.
Yeah, and I personally love it. We get Franklin to visit, and he's a turkey, and you're not cooking him, he's doing some cooking,
Right.
which is always fun.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so did you have anything else to say about the game?
No, that's it.
Cool. Well, then, I guess thank you all for listening. If you all listen to this on SoundCloud or iTunes, I do want you to be aware that I've kind of hit the limit on upload time on SoundCloud. I'm going to make this my first goal, or our first goal on Patreon, but as soon as we have 15 backers, that will cover the cost of getting like the unlimited plan on SoundCloud. So I will have every episode back up. But for now, I have the most recent episode, episode 1, and then hopefully with the time allotted, I'll be able to have the 2 most recent episodes. So be sure to listen to each episode before those 2 weeks if you do listen on SoundCloud or iTunes, because they're kind of limited for now. But you always have the option to listen on YouTube. We upload this there on youtube.com/ I think u/Chewy Plays Nintendo. Yeah, but if you just look up Chewy Plays Nintendo or Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, you'll be able to find it there. We also have links to the Discord channel on the YouTube as well as the Patreon page. And the Discord's awesome. Sergio's always posting villager birthdays. We have a gallery showcase where you can post like any of your screenshots from the games, live streams, videos.
Right.
We're always happy to support other Animal Crossing fans in their projects. So if you want to join us there, we have a great group of people who are always talking about things. And then Sergio is also making a bunch of emojis and taking emoji requests. So we have special Animal Crossing emojis. I love them. They're like the best thing ever.
Right, right. So if there's anything you want to see, definitely shoot us a line. And yeah, definitely. I really want to see a lot of people join the Discord group. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and then like we said, like Sergio live streams sometimes. I currently have a little bit of trouble with live streaming, so I might just be doing uploads of videos. And at this point, I only really have the capabilities to do City Folk. So if you guys want to see any City Folk gameplay, I will be posting it there. And, you know, it's always on YouTube too. And I guess we'll give you a happy Thanksgiving, since we won't see you next week, but we'll hear from you next. When's the next time we record? I don't even know. But yeah, I hope you all have a great night, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye bye.